coming in with this. Hello, everyone. Oh, we're echoing that.
Echoes. That's me.
Who is it?
Hello?
I still hear it.
Still hear it.
Okay, I'll mute myself too.
Is it still there? It's gone.
Is it gone? It's Tim. Hello, everyone.
It would be Tim.
Tim was trying to not have to wear headphones, but it looks like Tim might have to wear headphones so we don't echo. So, welcome everybody to our show, and thank you for being here with us. I have my co-host Julian. I even went the right way the first time with me, Bearded Thrift. I appreciate it. And down below me, I have Mess Hall Diggs and then Tim, Osborn2Thrift. So Richard is chastising Tim already. I am going to go ahead and let Mess Hall and Tim introduce themselves. If you guys have any questions for us, definitely put them down in the chat. I would get them in early because I do get behind. About midway in the show, I end up pretty far behind. So if you have a question you've been wanting to ask, go ahead and put it in the chat. Put question before it in caps. It will help me see it easier because we do get a lot of people in here. And here is Mess Hall Diggs to introduce himself.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining
what
us.
did I do? I didn't give you full screen. Hold on. I'm having technical difficulties. Here you go. All right.
What's up? Mess Hall Diggs. I am a part-time reseller. I'm going into year 3 of reselling. Retired military. So pretty much went from being in charge of soldiers to being in charge of used T-shirts. I am also a chef. I have a culinary degree, and I teach at Austin Peay State University in Tennessee. Teach young adults some life skills. You know, that's what it's all about. Love to thrift. I'm a sneakerhead. Mess Hall Diggs on Instagram and YouTube. Hit me up anytime. If you have any questions, I got you. I'll take care of you. Defend the Hustle, Friday Night Lives with Buffalo Picker. Come hang out.
I hear the echo.
No, you don't.
All right, Tim. Here's Tim.
All right, I'll just keep the headphones on. I'm Tim Osborn or Osborn2Thrift on YouTube, Instagram. I'm a full-time reseller, going on almost 6 years now. In a couple of months, it'll be 6 years. And yeah, I do a lot of hard goods and larger items. A lot of people, I give a lot of tips and stuff on how to ship larger items and everything, and kind of tackle that market instead of mostly small things or clothes or anything.
Cool. All right. Tim's like, get me off the full screen. I agree. That's why I always have guests with myself. So I don't have to be on the big screen because I am not that fond of it myself. I will not lie. Look, always with the questions. Here we go. Kraus House Sift and Thrift. Have you ever sold something on eBay and or on another platform like Mercari at the same time and have to cancel an order?
I have not. I have never done that. So I'll shoot it to you, Tim.
I only sell on eBay, so no. I used to sell on Mercari like years ago, but or like I do Amazon as well, but I've never had the issue where I ended up selling 2 on each one.
I have. Luckily, eBay was always the first one, and then sold on Mercari. So I've always canceled on Mercari, and that's about it. I actually don't really sell on Mercari anymore, so I'm mostly eBay.
I have on multiple occasions, and my advice is always cancel everything but eBay because eBay is going to penalize you the most. Facebook is the second as far as who's going to penalize you. Facebook Marketplace will only allow a 10% cancellation before they put you in restriction. Mercari might take your listings down, which is a pain in the butt. You just have to put them back up, in my experience. And Poshmark, I have like a 50% cancellation. I'm waiting for them to kick me off because, and we talked about this last week, So I will pull stuff that sells on eBay probably every 2 to 3 days off the other platform. So I don't do it every day. But if it sells on another platform, it is immediately taken off eBay because eBay is my main income. Like the other stuff's kind of pocket change. So I will not ever cancel an eBay sale. And that would be my advice to you too. Don't cancel eBay sales. You need to do everything you can to not cancel an eBay sale.
I agree.
Naomi, are you utilizing the new coupon feature eBay has for repeat customers or for positive feedback? And also, what is the message you send to buyers who send an offer you accept and they don't pay?
I'll go first. So I don't really use the new coupon feature because I sell too many one-off items. If I sold like diapers and that's all I sold, then yeah, I'd probably send out coupons to repeat customers because they know I got the cheapest diapers on eBay. But because all my items are just kind of one-offs in different sizes and vintage and new, and I haven't tried that feature out yet. It's happened to me a lot. I've had a lot of people send offers that have not paid. Usually I just look at their feedback. You know, if they have a low score feedback, I tend to worry about accepting an offer from them. But you also got to take into account it could be someone that found you when they searched Google for an item and your listing happened to pop up and they just had to create some kind of eBay account just to get your item from you. It's worked out a couple times that way, but most of the time, if their feedback is low, I'm kind of hesitant to accept offers. That's me, though.
I haven't used the coupon thing. I hardly knew it existed until recently. When I was looking at sold, I was like, what the heck is this? And then it's not really something that I'm kind of the same as Mess Hall. Like I sell a lot of one-off items. I don't get a lot of repeat customers, so it doesn't really seem like it would be an enticing thing for my customers because it's, you know, someone who bought a DVD combo player doesn't want a coupon for a pair of shoes necessarily.
Right.
What was the second question? The message you send to buyers who send offers you accept and don't pay. I usually I'll send them a payment reminder after 2 days. And then once that 96 hours hits, I just hit cancel and relist through the eBay app.
I have not used the coupon, but I have noticed I do have a couple repeat buyers, mostly for like fishing gear and golf clubs, but I haven't used it. And then I don't really send them a message. I kind of just mumble under my breath. I knew I shouldn't have taken that. And then I move on. I might send a reminder 2 days. Sometimes I forget. And then I just do the same thing as it relists itself and cancels and stuff.
Yeah, I tried the coupon feature and I might do it again because mine are all one-offs as well, but they're, you know, kind of like the vintage glass collectibles where a buyer might want to repurchase again. So I did it, I think 1 or 2 days. I was like, let me send this. I created a coupon and to my knowledge, I did not get any sales, but I might try and do it for like a week just to see if I get anything from it. Because if it can't hurt, like if I'm slow at work or something, I might try it. And I actually, just before we went live, got a message from a buyer and they're 6 days out. And I thought eBay canceled at 5 days. And that's the new rule. So I have $100 Kachina sale sitting there at 6 days unpaid. And they said, hey, I'll pay tomorrow. And I did message them. They are a zero feedback. So they might be a guest checking out. I'm not like anti-zero feedback. I am happy to sell to anybody, but I told them they automatically cancels typically at 5 days, so it might not still be there, you know, tomorrow morning when you say you're going to pay. They said they forgot it was on that account, but I typically do, like I normally don't message them. Because eBay will send them repeated payment reminders. I've had people message me ticked off saying stop sending me messages, and I haven't sent them one. It's all eBay system sending it. So yeah, but I mean, it is what it is. Just relist it and move on. Wendy, who is over on Facebook, and thank you to all of you guys that are watching us on Facebook. What advice do you have for setting up a functional space for storage, staging picks, shipping supplies, and space for packing? I'm trying to decide if I should rent a space or turn a room in my house into an eBay room.
For me, I decided just to use my garage as my storing space and also my shipping area. I think the biggest thing is try to separate all of them into different locations if you can. So you have room for just your shipping supplies. You have your own table and everything's within reach. In the cook world, we call it mise en place, everything in its place. So when I'm at my shipping table, I want to limit my movement to grab a box or tape or whatever I'm grabbing. And then behind me is where I store everything in the garage. But also, I'm very fortunate. I have 2 kids that moved out of the house, so I have 2 empty rooms. I turned one of them into mess hall studios that I'm sitting in right now. So this is where I get all my office stuff done. And this is also where I list. So I can take pictures and get all my computer stuff done in one area. And then everything else is in a separate area.
Yeah, I have a storage unit that I keep all my stuff in. It's an 11 by 22. And that I only keep stuff in there. I don't pack from there or ship from there or anything. I have shelving all along it and the back wall and then right down the middle. And then when I sell stuff, I ship out 3 times a week. So I just go over there, bring it all back, and then I just use this. This is our second bedroom, but we just have it as an office, and I just use it as my shipping area. It can get crowded sometimes because sometimes I do big trips and bring home 100 things that don't have space. But I do have, like, in the closet, there's like a shelf over there. You can actually kind of see it with like some of the boxes and any bigger boxes like that I pay for or buy in bulk that aren't priority. I'll keep in storage, and I'll just grab the boxes before I come back over here. Then I pack from here, and then I take them to the post office from there.
Yeah, it all depends on how big like your operation is. Like to rent something, I would say it has to be a pretty large operation to get that extra overhead cost into that whole thing, because you can really do a lot with a little bit of room. But I'm with Mess Hog about like definitely separating, because I have the same thing. Like I have an intake area, I have a storage area, I have a shipping area, I have a place where I put my boxes, then I have all my like other actually listed and unlisted stuff. So separating them and having everything in like a nice, neat thing makes sure just how you flow much faster, much faster. So even if it's a small area, you can be organized 100%.
So I'm sure you see the background behind me looks like a shipping center blew up, and it did. Like I see bubble wrap. There are Fed or UPS boxes that we didn't pack in time that will go out tomorrow. My photographing station is right there. So I have all my boxes under this counter. This was a retail counter I bought on auction for less than $200. It's actually 12 feet long, and it has room for all my boxes. You can see them here too. And then the top of it's my photographing. So this section is like 12 by 20 that I'm in. And my husband says I need a shipping only shed because 2 of us are packing at the same time. So we're like trying to grab boxes, and you see, he said he was going to build me a holder for the bubble wrap, but you see them on the floor. And we had like 15 packages today to go out and started at 4 o'clock. So that's why it looks like a tornado went through here, because we were really rushing. But I would say like our shipping area before was in a very small area as well. We had 1 shelf like before we got a ton of items, like the plastic shelves you get at Walmart or Home Depot or whatever, and all my boxes were on that, and then we had a table to ship on. So I think you can definitely multitask. Like I could take and have more room to pack there if I wanted, but I would rather leave them up just because it is easier. And I do not know if Mess Hall and Tim sell golf clubs. So we will go this around just in case they do.
Yeah, I definitely 100% sell golf clubs. They're one of my biggest profitable items, actually. I mean, golf clubs are just crazy profit. Brands, I mean, there's a lot of good brands out there. Even if the ones you think that are cheap, like Wilson still makes some good brand golf clubs. They do make higher end golf clubs. But right now, TaylorMade's really hot because the last major champion, he runs with TaylorMade. Dustin Johnson runs with TaylorMade. Callaway is really good. Just your phone is your secret weapon every time. Anytime you go anywhere, have your phone. It's your secret weapon. Just look up the brand. Just look up Callaway Golf Club or Titleist Golf Club, and then you'll see a lot of, you don't have to get into the intricacies of drivers and irons and putters. You don't have to know what those are. Just look at a picture and see if your club matches that picture and say, oh, this is probably valuable. It says Titleist on it. And that's the way you got to learn. I mean, fortunately, I've been golfing for a long time, so I know the brands. And but definitely should be looking at golf clubs every time you go to thrift stores. Every time.
Who's chinging? Tim's chinging.
I would agree. Yeah, absolutely. My girlfriend and I just started golfing. I golfed back in the day, but when I tell her to go, you know, she goes to the thrift store by herself. I'm always like, just look for Ping, Callaway, TaylorMade, because I don't, you know, she's looking at other things and she's usually in a hurry. So I'm like, just give me those top three, Titleist if you can find one. But those top three, if you just find those, you know, I'm happy. There's a ton more, a billion more that are worth money. But for her, I was like, just go on those three, and then we'll work on some other ones. So. But your phone, there's just so many that are worth money. I mean, Kat sold a whole bunch that were like,
I made hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, Julian says, so like I do my sourcing mostly on auctions, but I got a few from the thrift store too for $4 that sold really fast. So when I see bags of golf clubs on auction for like $10-20, I look at them, and I've made, probably like $600 just in the past few months over for golf clubs. So I'm not a golfer.
They're really cheap.
Yeah, I just read what they say. Joe's saying he would use the coupon if he could push it out digitally. It does work like that, but you have to go through and click each individual. So you can't like send it to all past customers. You have to click each individual sale, which is very time consuming unless you're really bored and have nothing else to do. Anonymous wants to know, what do you do when a buyer doesn't pay and also has zero feedback?
Same thing as if they had 1,000 feedback. Just cancel the order after. I specifically will wait to cancel it until eBay lets me, because then it'll ding their account and make it harder for them to purchase from other sellers.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yep.
Is Tommy in the house? I'm way behind in the chat already.
He's saying what's up to everybody. So
hi, Tommy. Tommy was just on with us not too long ago. Flip it good. What's the best background to use to photograph golf clubs?
There you go.
Your front yard, man. I use my beautifully fresh cut front yard grass. Grass is a beautiful background for golf clubs. And I always say, just throw it in your driveway, man. Lay it down on your driveway on the concrete. Concrete makes for a great background. You don't have to get too crazy with it. You don't have to overthink it. But I think the grass background just kind of sets off the whole mood for a golf club sale, to me.
If you do not have a good manicured grass like Mess Hall Digs, like mine look pretty terrible. I use a wood grain background. White doesn't really look that good, does it? It like throws a weird glare on it. White's not that good. So any type of contrasting color, I use a darker color because a lot of the golf clubs are, they look good on that. So, but yeah, I would agree. Any type of contrast color makes a little bit good, but white makes a weird glare on like the front, and it's just not that good looking. But grass,
I use white.
Put it out there.
So that goes to show there's three of us, and we all three use different stuff. So use what works for you.
That's right.
Obviously.
Use what's available.
I do everything. Yeah, use what's available. That's exactly right. I use my white background, and I use background remover. Mark, OGNZ, with his awesome new profile picture that he just put out today.
I like it.
How do each of you utilize the send offer feature for watchers?
I definitely try, at least at the bare minimum, every Friday morning. I send as many offers to watchers and micers as possible. Usually I try to start Thursday evening into Friday morning. Sometimes, I'll forget about it, but I get 90% of my sales are over the weekend. I'm pretty much a weekend seller. I sell 15 to 20 items every weekend, and during the week it's kind of hit and miss. So I make sure to get all my offers out at least on Fridays, so when the weekend hits, they're all just waiting on them.
Yeah, I send offers out pretty much every day. There's certain items I have listed that it'll be like, oh, you can send an offer on this, and it's not worth it for me to send it because I've sent the offer before, or it's already kind of as low as I want to go. So like right now I can send out 25 offers, but most of those items I don't really want to go much lower. So I just kind of, when it goes up past the 25, I scan through and see what new one popped up. But I'm sending them out every single day just because I want to sell the stuff. I don't want to keep it.
I also do the same thing. I sell it. I send them every day. Actually, every like 20 minutes probably.
Yeah, pretty much. I check it like every hour.
Me too.
Yeah.
Every time I see it. I don't have 25 sitting there because I'm OCD, so I would send it at like 5% off to get it off that, because it's like a checklist thing for me. I think that's like a nursing thing, and I don't want to see that extra line on my app. So if I have send an offer, it is sent. Spirit of Manu, how I'm assuming they're wanting to know how many we're listing per day.
For me, because I am part-time, I try to get at least 10 a day. That's my goal. At least 10 per day is my goal.
So I used to not have a goal on whether or not I did X amount per day or not. I used to list every weekend and just get up all the listings that I was working on that week. And I've recently changed it up where I do anywhere from like I try to get something listed each day now, whether that ends up being 5 or like yesterday I ended up getting like 60 listings up, or not yesterday, Sunday. But I try to get as much as I can that I have. Like I've probably got another 50 listings that need to go up, but I just haven't gotten around to them. But like tomorrow I'm going to sit down and probably try and knock out as many as I can. I don't really have a goal of, I'm not really one to say like, oh, do this many a day and that'll work or anything. I just think that for myself, I try not to have a death pile as much as I can. So I just end up listing when I get stuff.
Yeah, I would agree. I also do like, I used to always say 30, 40, 50, but now I do as many as I can to get that death pile down, and then I have to go source. So on sourcing days, maybe a little bit less, maybe 10. But like the other day, I sat down and did like 47, but they were pretty easy to list. But then the next day I did like 10. So all depends.
Yeah, I was doing 20 to 30, but lately I've only been doing like 10 to 15 just because I've got so much other stuff going on. I do make sure my dollar value is there though. So I'll make sure at least like 2 of those 10 are pretty high dollar to keep my amount up. I know Kevin is like a big Commonwealth picker, is a big proponent of like list the profit you want to make each day. So like I want to make $500. So I try and list like $500 to $750 in a day. That might be 3 items. And then if I've got other stuff to do, I'm like, okay, well, I listed, $750 worth of stuff. I'm okay to go do whatever. So lately I've been going a little more on the dollar amount versus the amount of listings. I have a super chat from Christine Coran. No message. So Christine, I will give you a dolphin. If I can find it. I found it. Super chat. And I see Alex is in the chat. That man. Now I got to find where I was.
I think the important thing is just start with one, and you'll see once you list one item, you're like, oh, that was quick, and you'll grab another one, and then and then it'll just spiral, and then next thing you know, you've listed 15 things, and you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So,
you're like, that's not that bad.
One, man. Shit.
I think that listing X amount per day can help if you have kind of let your death pile get a little too uncontrolled. But
like
at a certain point, once you start running out of inventory, I think that you don't want to mistake listing 10 items a day with listing anything you can find at all, because the last thing you want is to list garbage, and then you're upset that it's not selling or that's not improving your sales or anything. So I think it's important to find the balance. You don't want to end up making it seem like you have to go thrifting to get your 10 items up. If you don't have 10 items to list, then just don't list 10 items. That's okay.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. And I have like a massive death pile because of auction hauls, and I buy tons of box lots. So I have a lot of stuff. I've gotten through one shelf, and like I had 5 antique picture frames back there that one sold in 2 days for $58. So who knows how much money is sitting in the shed unlisted. So I try, if I thrift that day, I try and get that stuff listed that day or the next day. So I'm not adding to my already insane death pile. And then if I do an auction haul, which I am not trying to do that many right now, but if I do, I like my last one I did Yadro, you know, it was like 15 high dollar figurines. I listed the same night again. My big thing right now is I don't want to add like another shelf to that death pile. But I just almost did with my buyout. But when somebody comes to me with a whole house full of stuff that I can look through first, I'm not going to say no, you know? So, but I have already listed probably like 25% of the stuff from that haul. So I'm trying to get better, and I had somebody helping me to list, which is what I really need. My niece was helping me, and she's not anymore. So yeah. Cherish each day. If one chooses require immediate payment when listing, doesn't that keep buyers from delaying the payment?
No, if you take an offer, you're required to. Immediate payments are only if you don't accept an offer. You can take offers and have it on, but if you end up accepting an offer someone sends you, then they don't have to pay right away, which is, I feel like most people agree, is a major flaw of eBay's offer system.
It is. Yeah, like Poshmark, Mercari, it's locked in. Like the funds are locked in as soon as they make that offer, but on eBay it's not. And that also applies when you send them an offer. So if you send them an offer and they accept, there's no guarantee on pay either. I just want to say real quick, Wendy, as far as cluttering up the house, buying this shed, which is a 12 by 40, was like the best thing I did, because my house was overrun with reseller stuff, and I got it all, like 95% of it out. There's still a few things in there, but it has made a world of difference. And it's really overwhelming when you're reselling business creeps into your living areas. So at that point, and you don't have an extra room, then that's when I would say, think about either a storage unit or a shed if you're able to get a shed. Krause House Sift and Thrift wants to know, Julian, with that information you gave her, has Kayla gotten you golf clubs while thrifting?
She has, and some really good ones. So she's starting to learn. And once you start really getting into it, you kind of start to know which ones even look good. You know what I'm saying? Like they look newer. And then with those names on those golf clubs that look newer, they're the ones she picks up. And she's definitely done pretty well.
That was awesome. I know Leona's asking if anyone's posted a video on packing golf clubs. I know Julian has. Mess Hall, do you have a video on packing them?
Yeah, I always refer people to Julian's video when they ask me how to pack golf clubs. I have a video on how to ship golf bags, which is also a huge lucrative business. I find golf bags usually for like $9, $10, and I'm selling them for $85, $90 sometimes. So I did do a video on how to pack and ship a golf bag. But Julian's video, it's pretty much like once I find the one that I think is good, I always refer people to that one. But golf bag shipping, I think I got the best video out there for that.
I did watch it.
I have two golf bags for sale.
Golf bag shipping? Yeah.
So if my golf bags sell, I will go watch your video.
Yeah, watch my golf bag shipping video.
Yeah, I have two bags that the clubs I bought from the auction came in, and they're decent bags, so they are up. Bringe Gems, do we know how the new how, I don't know what that means, how those are new offers, or can they be somebody who liked it before? I will say, as far as the offers, a lot of times, only if you look at it, you don't even have to watch it. Because when I'm researching stuff, I'll get an offer for that item that night. And when we first started getting those, Brad actually accepted one and bought something that I had just listed. So beware when you're researching, you might get offers from other sellers on that.
Yeah, from what I've seen about that is that it's if you're watching it, so supposedly eBay doesn't give you the option to send it again to someone you've already sent the offer. But that's where that I'm not sure that that's a fully working function yet, because sometimes it feels like the same item always has that one interested buyer and nothing's really changed with it. I'm pretty sure that their goal is to make it so that it doesn't bring in the same buyers or anything. And sometimes an item will pop up that I never sent an offer on, and it's been listed for like a month, and then it says I can send an offer, and it's like 10 interested buyers, and it's like, where was this 4 weeks ago? So I think that they've mentioned that a part of it is like watching it, how often you view it, if you repeat view it. So if you click the listing more than once, there's a bunch of different factors that go into it, but overall it's probably a bit of a mess overall. Like not fully.
Yeah,
functional.
I was thinking that too. Like if I feel like almost if they watch it and then unwatch it and then they find it again, like I feel like it does go out to the same buyers. And then people want me to send an offer again because it expands. And I, in that situation, always just tell them, send me the offer because I have best offer on everything and I'll accept. Listen, I'm having clicking issues. PK Demas just started reselling this spring. Haven't been through a Q4 selling yet. Any advice to help to prepare and what to expect?
That kind of depends on what you resell. If you're reselling like a lot of new and packaged items, those things you should already start putting those up. I know my boy Tommy, the Buffalo Picker, he talks about this a lot about his Q4 because he does Amazon. Amazon's kind of a bigger get ready for Q4 empire than eBay is for me because I sell one-off items. Most of my stuff, 90% of my stuff is used items, but I do have a lot of really expensive vintage, nice stuff that still make good Christmas presents. Just make sure you get your stuff up so there's eyes on it. People can start planning. I mean, that's the biggest thing I can say. Just get it listed. That's how you prepare for Q4. Have the things that are in your death pile transfer to your store because you can't sell it if it's sitting in a pile.
Yeah. I also think that as for what to expect, I think a lot of people romanticize Q4. Like the moment that Q4 hits, it's going to all of a sudden, you're going to start seeing 100 sales a day. My Q4 picks up mid-November to mid-December. And then I don't know how it is the rest of the year because I usually go on vacation during the rest of that time. But my Q4 usually doesn't pick up till at least November, where I can see a significant change in my numbers, at least over the last, I think like 3 years now. That's how it's been. So I wouldn't expect October, like don't expect October to be this like crazy big month unless you're selling Halloween stuff or something.
Right.
But I also think having the shipping supplies is also important. The last thing you want is to have to order priority boxes from the USPS in the middle of Q4 because that's always shipping in general sucks and you're probably going to be seeing delays. And like Mess Hall said, if you you want to be able to like just list it now, there's no reason to like hold on to. I mean, I can't say there's no reason to hold on to stuff because I have some stuff that I'm holding on to, but that's because the price goes up during that time. But if you have things that are going to sell for the same price, just like probably faster, just list them now.
Yeah, I was gonna say definitely shipping supplies if you're trying to get them to the USPS because you definitely want to get that stuff now. Any type of just all that. But I ran into one, I think it was last year, and you're right. I don't really get busy until mid-November, but I was getting busier, and I had to ship all that stuff and this one-man team here, and I didn't have time to go out there and thrift. There was a lot of people, number one, out there also buying stuff at thrift stores, and it was just busy in Myrtle Beach. So now I will have a backlog of items, at least a couple hundred, that will get me through those weeks where I can just stay home, pack, list, and just knock all that stuff out. So I don't have to go out of the house for like 2-3 weeks. I can just like get a whole bunch of work done. And last year it was just an interruption where I had to go out and find stuff to list because it did pick up a little bit. It wasn't like, huge. It wasn't like double my numbers, but probably 25% more, which means I was working, packing a lot more. But this year I already got stuff packed, ready. If it gets crazy where I don't have time to go out and to source, I already have stuff sitting aside.
Yeah, I would say the packing supplies as well. That's probably number one. You don't want to run out of boxes or bubble wrap or tape and have to go to Walmart and spend a lot more than you would getting it from an online supplier. My Q4 sales really don't increase because of the type of items. Mine are like one-off collectibles. So I typically do not big jump. So for me, it's kind of business as usual, but my shipping supplies take longer to get to me because most people are seeing an increase in sale. So the demand for like shipping supplies is up, but I don't get that big of a bump. So I think it really depends on what you're selling. I hope I get a bump. I would be happy with the bump, but over the last 2 Q4s, I have not seen a very significant bump at all. CC wants to know, do you use the schedule function for listing?
Only when I'm wanting to have a little bit of fun with it. I usually, if I have, I never schedule, like, if I have 40 listings that I need to put up, I never go, oh, let's schedule them for 4 days in a row, because I think I'd rather just get all those listings up. But sometimes, usually on my, when I do like Utah trips in the past, I've always done, I've listed in bulk, like I was mentioning. So one time I had like 200 listings that I needed to get up. And so I had all the pictures of them, and I went to list them. I was like, oh, let's just have some fun with it, and I'll have them all go live Saturday morning and see, instead of all the way through Friday. It's literally just a fun thing for me. You know, I paid like $30 in scheduled listing fees.
Just a mass list.
Just to have fun. See if I could get Saturday and Sunday to be like a crazy good weekend. But I don't use it as a way to get my X amount of listings up each month or each week, each day, whatever.
Yeah, I don't mess with the schedule listing function at all. And someone said in the chat, same thing. Like, unless you're doing like an auction, you kind of want to make sure that your auction doesn't end at 2:00 in the morning on a Sunday or something.
Yeah, that's true. You'll want to schedule your auctions, or just make sure you're right on time with when you're posting it.
Right. Like my auctions, I want to end on like Friday, Saturday, or Sunday night. So depending on if I'm doing 5 or 7 day, that's what I am going to do.
Yeah, I've never used that.
But I don't use it otherwise either, because I'm not going to pay for that. Like I don't like.
Yeah.
It's 10 cents to schedule a list. Is it 16?
I thought it was.
I thought it was 10. Oh gosh. Anyways, you have to pay. And I'm just, but if you go through the work of listing something, I want it live now because I want it to sell as fast as possible.
Yeah. You know? I'm working on it. Yeah.
Oh no, you're right. Yeah. It's 10 cents. It's 10
cents.
Yeah. What? Look at me. No. Laura Pugh, how long do you leave what do you do with items that don't sell?
That kind of depends. Yeah, for me, if it was a bad buy, something that I bought 2 years ago when I first started and didn't really know what I was doing. Like, I pick on Old Navy a lot. Like if you have an Old Navy t-shirt on your eBay store and you're trying to get $20 for it, it's probably not going to happen, because you can go to Old Navy and get it for $5. But what I do, I have a yearly yard sale. Our family does a yearly yard sale, and I take down stale listings off my eBay store and I just throw them on the yard sale pile. It's just when you gain more experience, you'll know, okay, that was probably a bad buy. No one wants this. No one's going to pay the money I want for it. So you can either like super clearance it out, or just pull it down and have a yard sale with those items. But if I think it's a good item, and because you might have something that's worth a lot, but only you got to wait for that right buyer, that one person, when they find it, they're going to pay the money you want for it. So don't give up on something like that. I mean, you could have an item up for like 2 years waiting for that one person to find it.
Yeah.
But if it's something just redundant, then just take it down and redonate it or have a yard sale.
Yeah, I purge my inventory once a year, usually in like February or March, where I'll just go through and I'll just go through each listing, or like I'll a lot of times I just kind of scan my inventory and I'll make a mental note of, okay, why the heck hasn't that sold? And then I'll look it up. But this year I went through each listing, and I would find it in storage, and I'd look it up on eBay, and I'd check to see if it was listed, or if the price was wrong, or if it just doesn't have any sold comps. And I ended up getting rid of, I recycled and redonated like half of, or it was like a 50-50 split, where I got rid of like 270 listings. It was just I mean, year-old items that just had no value. Maybe they had one sold comp 2 years ago. It was like a power cord here or there, or some like an electronics thesaurus or something. It was just like random junk like that. So I went through and purged everything, and then ended up with like 600 or 700 listings after that. But then I also found about 75 items that just weren't listed on. I don't know if the item was sold and then order was canceled and wasn't relisted, or if some glitch happened and I just ended up without the listing. But I was able to that's what I do each year, is I make sure that I have everything's priced right, and that everything is actually listed. But I have like about every 6 to 9 months, I pretty much have, it's like 4 to 6 months really. I pretty much have mostly new inventory unless I specifically bought it as a long sitter. Like I have a high turnover rate with my items, and I sell a lot, so I end up just a lot of times most of the stuff doesn't really sit very long, and so by that 6 month to a year mark, if it crosses my path while I'm like just grabbing something and I see it, I'll look it up, double check the price and see. And but I think that depending on how often your turnover rate is on stuff is a better indicator on whether or not you should be pulling the stuff sooner or later, or double checking your buys.
I think at the 2022, starting then, I'm probably going to do the same thing. I'm going to look through, purge a whole bunch of stuff, because I started, really not that long ago. So I still have stuff when I first bought it. Looking back, I'm like, nobody's going to buy that candle for $10. Put the candle.
It took me 3 days to just I put my store on time away, and I just spent 3 days in storage, basically just going through every single item because I wanted to be thorough about it. And I had stuff from legitimately like 2017 that had been listed for years and years. I was like, I don't remember buying this. I don't remember why I would have. It's clearly garbage, and it's definitely worth it, especially for newer resellers who once you hit that year or two mark, you're going to look back at some of the stuff you have and you go, what was I doing?
Right.
Or to get into new categories in general. Like I'm going to do that with shoes probably in the next 4 months because I got into shoes and I bought way too many shoes. And I just threw away a pair of Asics that I don't know what I was thinking when I bought them, because they were completely torn up at in the heel area. And I still listed them as if they were still going to be a $40 pair of shoes. And like that styrofoam sticking out, I was like, this was 3 months ago. What am I doing? So I ended up tossing those today. But
I think views are kind of a key too. Like if you have an item up for 2 years and it's got 6 views on it, it might be something that not a lot of people are looking for.
Might be an indicator.
Yeah.
Right.
But if you have something with like 1,000 views for 2 years, you might want to double check all of the details on it, because I've had times where
another indicator.
I found out that my shipping, like the dimensions on the shipping were insane somehow. They just got raised really high. So the shipping for the small item was like $90. And it's like, oh, that's why no one's buying it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I stuff like that. I need to make some kind of something like Tim did, but I have 3,300 items listed. So I would probably, but I could have my mom do it too. I could teach my mom to go through. And I know I found something this week that I'm like, this should have sold. And I looked and it was not listed. So I probably have that. I bet I have probably that amount or more that have fallen off or got lost somehow and are sitting in my bins. And I don't even, know, because I have so many things. So I need to do that like once a year. Why do you do it in February or March? What's your thinking on that? Just out of curiosity.
Because a couple of years ago it was like February or March, and I said, hey, I want to purge my inventory, and then I was just like, I'll just do it once a year, and so I just do it. It's like since it was just a random month, I decided to do it, and I was like, well, I'll just go ahead and do it this like in a year from now,
like annually. Then well, maybe I'll do it in October. Yeah.
Not too cold, not too hot. February and March is probably the worst time for me to have chosen. Maybe I'll switch to like April or like September.
The spring. Spring inventory. Crosshouse Sift and Thrift. Do you have more than one eBay store or ID?
Nope. I do not. I just have my one store, and that's it.
I know a lot of people say to split your buys and your sells. So have two, one for buying, one for selling, and I'm too lazy to do that. Most of the time I end up not even thinking when I'm buying something, so I don't really think that I'd be able to switch over to that, but I keep just one because I like seeing that big old number for a 90-day total from all the sales instead of split between two.
Yeah.
I only have one.
I tried to, and I stopped, and I don't know if Caroline's still in here. Caroline and I had this discussion, and she had 2 stores and is in the process of taking down one. But I got put on eBay timeout, and I started my second store, and they did allow me to put listings up, much to what a lot of people say. That store didn't get pulled down, but I was missing sales because you can only log into one on the app and on your phone, and I would forget to check it because the second store only had 100 versus 1,000 in my main store. And the final straw for me was somebody messaged me on my second store listings and called me a fake and said I was lying on YouTube. And I'm like, you know what? I'm closing it. That way, even though I have the link to both stores in my description. So that was the final straw for me. I closed the second store and I only have the one, but it was too much for me. I do still have it. I do still have like the name, but I do not use it at all. I do all my buying and selling on my main name. Yeah, Spirit of Manu. Oh, go ahead, Tim. No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say that's also you don't want to, like, having two. There's nothing wrong with having 2 stores in terms of in eBay's eyes, but you don't want to try and circumvent a ban or a suspension. I've had way too many people message me, and some of them have been really good resellers, and have had really high 90-day totals where they end up. There's a guy recently. I think he's like a kid. He's like 17, I think, and his store got put below average, so he decided to make a new eBay store, and because he was trying to circumvent that issue, they decided to just straight up ban his accounts, both of them, because they were able to track it. So he can't sell on eBay anymore. This is like, it's been like it started in February, and since then it's just been a slow process where they found him and they're just like, no, you're gone. So don't try and circumvent punishments by eBay. But you can have, a lot of people have like, oh, this is my store for shoes, or this is my store for jeans, or because they don't want to mix their inventory. I personally don't really care, and don't see the benefit to it, only because my sales are already good. But I can understand why people would want to be a little more organized like that.
Yeah, and I will say, like, me doing that, I don't go near anything that I think might get me a ban. Like, if I think it might, I don't go near it anymore, no matter what the profit is, because I make too much money off of my eBay to put it in jeopardy for even like $100 or $200 profit is not worth my, $80,000 a year in sales on that account. Like, it's just not worth it. So if there are things that you think might not be allowed, I would steer clear of them. Personally,
that's my policy too now.
Yeah. Spirit of Manu, what is your weekly routine?
For me, I don't really have a routine. Since I left the military, I've been trying to just kind of do what I want. I play golf twice a week. That's mandatory.
There you go.
I teach at the college 3 times a week, and I'm also the president of the volleyball booster club at the high school. So I'm involved in a lot of meetings and stuff with that. So it's just pretty much in my free time. That's when I dedicate to my reseller side hustle. I don't really go out a lot. I only do a whole lot of other things because I'd rather be at home listening to podcasts, listening to reseller channels, and listing my inventory and going to thrift stores. And that's what I love to do anyway before I became a reseller.
Right.
So that's kind of my routine.
Yeah, mine. So I ship Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. I have 2-day handling time, and anything that sells after I've already dropped the packages off will be shipped out the next shipping day. But that lets me thrift. I usually do a kind of bigger thrifting day on Tuesdays, where I'll travel to the town next to mine and I'll hit up like 7 or 8 thrift stores because my town only has one. But every morning, Tuesday through Saturday, I'll go to the DI in my town, and I'll thrift there because that one, they only bring stuff out. Excuse me. They only bring stuff out in the mornings and the evening time. They don't bring stuff out during the middle of the day. So it's easier for me to just be there in the morning after they brought stuff out. And then when it's a Wednesday or a Friday, I'll head home and I'll pack after that. I'll edit a video here or there between that time, and then most of the anytime after 12, from like 12 to 5 is usually focused on a little bit of listing or just kind of chilling. And I go at my own pace with a lot of this stuff. So I end up, sometimes I'll work till 8, but it's like, you know, I sat down at 12 and I got up at 2, and then I came back and sat down at like 6. And so when it comes that, like, I'm not very strict with my routine when it comes to actually getting the work done in the office, but I ship Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I thrift every day with a bigger thrift trip once a week.
I ship every day, Monday through Friday, and I'll start shipping on Saturdays, like Monday through Saturday. Whenever fourth quarter I start picking up in sales, I usually do shipping every day. My routine, I wake up 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. I usually pack all my items that I haven't packed the night before, ship out first thing in the morning, come back. Then I start to like list. I haven't really been in thrift shop in a while. I've been getting all my inventory on Friday, Saturdays from yard sales, and I've been buying a whole bunch of yard sales. And I usually now dedicate an entire day to do like a batch what's sold on YouTube. So like a Monday or a Tuesday or whenever I need to like put out videos, because I do one every other day, is that I will shoot those what sold. You see when I do 20 what sold, I'm actually doing most of those all in one day, because those 20 have sold usually over the weekend. So I usually have like 20 to 40 to 60 sales in a 4-day period. So when I sit down, I am like, it's a straight YouTube day, like from 8 o'clock until whenever I'm done or whenever I need to get done. And I've been hitting the gym every day now. I quit that back about like a year ago. I stopped going. I've been going to the gym now, and I'm telling you, getting back into like shape and everything is just, it helps this because you sit at home a lot. So
is that a dinosaur claw?
That is a dinosaur claw. Look at that.
Yeah, that's his new beard scratcher. He always has one of some sort lately. For me, I still am working 2 days a week as a nurse, so those are 15-hour days. For me, I have to get up at 5:45 until about 8:45 or 9. So that is every Thursday. I work every other Wednesday and every other Sunday. So those days are pretty much out as far as anything. But I do take pictures the night before to list stuff at work on my lunch hour or downtime if I get it. Lately, I've not gotten it. So for me, if I'm not working, I typically get up, I respond to my YouTube comments. I'm still responding to them all, even though they are growing. I like 280 the other day. So I am still responding to every comment. So I wake up, I respond to every comment on my YouTube channel every morning. And then I send out offers on eBay, and I run a constant sale in my store. So if it's May, I put back up my sale because they run Monday through Friday and then Friday through Monday. So every Friday, Monday, the first thing I do when I wake up after I send or respond to comments is put my sale back on. And then I typically will like photograph, and I don't pull. I'm like backwards from Julian. I don't pull until like 1 PM. I'll be like, I got to pull 40 orders and pack. I pack Monday through Friday as well. I stopped shipping on Saturdays a while ago because I didn't want 6 days a week of packing. And then I'll go thrifting like once or twice a week, not very often. Like today I had to go to the dentist, so there's an antique mall right by the dentist, so I went there. And yeah, so I'll go thrifting once or twice a week. And then like I'm doing daily videos on YouTube, which is a big hustle. So I have to, at some point during every day, except for Tuesdays, I have to edit a video and get that out. So I have to figure out what I'm doing. But I'm like Julian, if I have a topic that I'm wanting to cover, I'll do a what sold and then I'll do that topic. So if you think I'm crazy and only own like 1 or 2 shirts, I'll make like 3 videos in a day sometimes. I'm wearing the same thing. Like we don't do wardrobe changes. I don't do wardrobe changes around here. Whatever.
I do wardrobe changes.
I only own 1 t-shirt.
I've been changing his hat so they don't think it's the same day.
No. I don't go through it. Like, and I did like 3 in one day or 4, and I'm like, okay, this is the same day. I had to try to think I don't like bathe and take a shower or something. They see me in the same shirt for 4 days in a row. But yeah, so Yeah. Cherish each day. Do you find the amount of sales you have is contingent on the amount of things you list daily?
I found that
some of us aren't as fortunate to have to ship every day, like Mr. Julian over there. That means you're selling stuff every day. It is what it is. Like I said, I make most of my sales on the weekends, which is kind of weird. Like I'll sell 20, 30 things over the weekend, and then I'll sell like, maybe 3 items here, 4 items there during the week. It's just how it seems to work out for me. But I don't know. I think that, if they say the algorithm, you got to list every day to sell every day, but it's kind of just what you can do, what time you have to do what you can do. I don't think there's any secret formula to it. It's just, do what you can handle and then go from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have definitely seen an increase from listing every day, but I also have found that everything else in my life in terms of reselling has kind of amped up. So I'm listing every day, which makes me sell a little more, which makes me feel motivated to go out and thrift a little more. Or because I listed every day, now I'm all caught up, so I need to go thrift more. So I found that everything's kind of just like increased in general. Whether or not that's solely because of me listing every day is, the jury's still out on that one. I'm not entirely sure if that's the case, but I've definitely seen an increase from listing every day. It's not often, I don't know if I believe that like, because I listed this, this electronic, that's why this pair of shoes sold or something like that. I don't know if I really believe that it's specifically like helping items outside of that category, but I definitely know that it's like it's doing something. I don't know how to explain it. Like there's something in the works that I've definitely seen that's increased my numbers pretty significantly since I started doing that, which was about 2.5, 3 months ago.
I see the biggest difference because I'll sometimes like mess around a little bit. I'll be like, you know what, I'm not going to, like, I have to work on the house this week. It's just one of those things. I've only been getting maybe like 1 or 2 up. I know this week's going to be a bust. But there's other times where I've had to do something for a couple days, house-wise or whatever, and I don't really see a big decrease unless I don't list anything for 3 days. That seems to be like my, might start going down. But like if I haven't listed anything for 2 days, I'm still making consistent sales even on that 3rd day, and then something happens there where it starts to tank a little bit. So, but I do like the more I do list, I sell some of the stuff I just listed, and then other things also. So that does
right.
I really don't know. I mean, all I can tell you is if I don't list for 3 days, my sales do drop, and I've noticed.
I don't think. Yeah.
What is this magic?
I don't think anyone knows. I know we would all love to know.
I don't know. I don't know.
I get like at work if I'm busy and don't like list, even though I have photos on my phone, I still see consistent sales. So I don't think it's like that big of a deal. I think though, if you're listing more, you're going to sell more because you have more items available, especially if you're sourcing good and sourcing high demand items, they're going to sell fast if you price them right too. Paul Mead, do you list directly on eBay or do you use a software program from a third party like Turbo Lister or 6fit?
I've messed around with Hammock a little bit. I think they charge $1.45 a listing. It's pretty easy. You just send in pictures and 1 or 2 details, and they kind of do the rest for you. But they do hit glitches sometimes. Sometimes they get blocked access. Like over the weekend, 20 of my items got blocked. eBay wouldn't let them put it on, so it took a couple days to fix the glitch. But mostly it's just me taking pictures, listing, doing everything. I do most of everything on my own.
Yeah, that's how I am. I've never used a listing platform or software or anything like that. I list from my phone, take pictures with my phone, and list while I watch like TV or something with my wife.
I do the same thing. I mean, I'm not watching TV with his wife, but I do the same thing he does. I do everything from my phone, and then, yeah, same thing.
Yeah, I do all the listing myself through my phone as well. The only time I've had to use a computer is like the what are they called? Not multi-quantity, but what are the variation listings you have to list on the computer. But other than that, and I still do that directly through eBay. I don't do it through any third party. So, and my thoughts on like the hammock and all that is, if I like the pictures and cleaning and getting the stuff ready for me is the hardest thing. The actual listing, because I use Sell Similar, is the easiest part of that. So for me, I don't feel like that would be like a giant help, but I don't know. I've never tried it though. The other cat says she can't stop buying. And hello, Joe and Melissa. I see both of you. I am behind, guys. So I am going through these questions. I'm going to grab this super chat I see really quick. Super chats. Big Drift. Tim, I can't quit you on the YouTube channel. Thank you for following Tim. I am going to give you a dollar because that's what I do. Super chat. That's great. Tim, thank you for bringing your loyal followers over here. Thank you all for being here. We appreciate you guys watching us.
If people don't know, Big Drift is up in Alaska, and she finds some pretty insane thrift store finds. And her name's Allison. She's on Instagram. I don't think she has YouTube videos, but she's on Instagram. So she's always finding some like crazy
in
stuff.
Alaska.
Apparently she's the only reseller in that entire state. So
there's
I was in Alaska for 3
who
years.
else is there?
Oh,
why can I not think of her name? Anfisa, yes.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, there's another one.
That's true. Yeah, Anfisa's also.
I'm like, I watch her videos. Where? Yes, Anfisa is there. Anfisa doesn't put out a ton of content though. But I love her videos. I love seeing it up there. It's beautiful. I'm not moving there. I am like a born and Floridian. So you guys might see me travel outside for like a week, and that is it. I'm leaving in 2 weeks from yesterday to go meet Julian. Am I going the right way? Wrong way. I'm going to go meet Julian and hang out at Myrtle Beach for a few days. So hopefully me and Julian will get to go thrift. And then I'm heading up to Pennsylvania to hang out with Dale, Flippin' Fiasco, Dagny, Flying Pig Thrifts, and Jocelyn, Crazy Lamp Ladies. 3 of my very, very good friends. So I am super excited about that because I planned this trip like 4 months ago. And because of the reseller rally, I'm like, I can't be gone a week like that close together. So I had to like wait a few months and take off again. But my husband is staying home, so my eBay store will continue. It will not have vacation time. And I bet money I will be thrifting along the way. And anybody who knows me, I will probably be listing in my resort room. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I will probably be listing on something in my room as I go. So
I think you and Julian need to do like a thrift battle video, $20 thrift store battle video in Myrtle Beach somewhere.
He knows them. That's not fair.
No. And I'm going the day before and hiding stuff. Hands down. It's
like he knows them. But we do different stuff. We do some of the same stuff, but we do different stuff. That I don't know. That might not be a bad idea. I do think though. I was thinking like we need to like take a picture together, like actually together if we're together, and use that for like this live show when we're actually together.
Yep.
As our picture instead of our little corners. I was thinking that. I hadn't told Julian that yet, but I figured he might not object to having a picture with me.
Solid idea.
VC question: is the buy it now instant pay a good idea?
Yeah. I mean, I keep it on everything just because why not? All it does is make it so that the buyers have to pay if they want it. I also have found though that most of the time, if the only time that I really get somebody who's not going to pay immediately is usually someone who I took an offer from, and 95% of the time they're selling or like they pay right away. But there's that other 5% where they take like a day or something, and then that really low number where they just don't pay in comparison to the actual sales that I make. But I've never really noticed whether or not it's a required payment or not that a buyer, like if a buyer's going to want the item, usually they're going to hit buy it now and they're just going to like click buy it now and pay for it right there. Whether they have to pay immediately or not. It's usually going to be done. It's usually just the offers that end up making it a whole mess of awaiting payments.
How do you run? Do you run auctions like that too? Do you have the auction and then also you can buy it for this price feature, or you just run?
I have one auction running actually that's ending in like a couple of minutes. In fact, I think it ends in like maybe like 10 minutes, but that's the first auction I've done in years. I personally don't do auctions very often. I just didn't know how to price this specific auction or this listing. But yeah, I don't really have experience running them super often just because I personally prefer, I like the buy it now method with taking best offer. So I just, just like a reverse auction where I get to decide the price, but I can go lower.
Right.
I run some auctions and I don't do like buy it now at this price. I do just straight auctions. Like all those knives I picked up like 3 days ago, turns out these things are actually way better than I thought, and there's not a lot listed and they're very like in demand. All of those are going to be going up on auction, like every single one of them. I actually sold 3 not on auction, and they sold very quickly for $55 a piece. And I was like, whoa, I just messed up. I was like, the rest are going on auction. So
yeah, I don't do the have to buy it now because if people buy more than one item, it won't let them I like people to buy it and then tell me to send them an invoice for combined shipping rather than giving them a refund. And if you have the have to pay now on, you send them an invoice after the fact. They'll have to pay for each item and then you have to figure it out and send them a refund. So that's why I do not like it. Restyle secrets. Do buyers have to turn on notifications for offers to receive them? I think it would still go to their messages, right? Yeah, I would think.
Or an email or something. I think it's all the settings kind of depend. I actually don't know. I don't really get offers.
Yeah, I don't know either. I am going to grab another question, and then I see Tommy's logo. I see a super chat that just came in from Tommy Buffalo Picker, and I'll grab that. Eclectic Treasure Hunter. Do any of you pay someone to list at $1 per, like at a certain amount per listing? If so, at what rate?
No, like we covered this before. If you use a site like Hammock or a virtual VA, I think it was $1.45 a listing is what they charge. I don't know what the going rate is for if you hired a photographer. You just drop stuff off at a photographer and made them do all the pictures for you. I heard like $2 or $3 a listing is kind of what a lot of people I've watched talk about, $2 to $3 per listing. But I think most of us here do 90% of our or 100% of our stuff on our own.
Yeah. I think if I ever do hire someone, I think it's going to be more kind of the grunt work. Listing is a little, obnoxious, but I can do that chilling on my couch or watching anything, just sitting on my computer. But if I was going to hire someone to help ship, that would make more sense for me because that's like a lot more energy being exerted and time there, or to test items or to clean items. I probably focus more on the more physical parts of the job outside of the actual thrifting. And not the listing part, because it's easier to kind of get a sense of, like the per listing thing doesn't really make a lot of sense to me because it's like, well, am I paying you just to upload it to eBay? Am I paying you to take the photos or clean it or anything? So it gets a little messy there where I'm just like, I'll probably eventually just hire someone to help with the shipping process instead of like try and get complicated with actual listings and making sure the prices are good and making sure that the listings are how I would want them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Julian. When my niece was helping me list, I was paying her $11 an hour, and she would get like 4 up to 15 items done. So like DVDs, you're not going to want to pay somebody to do for when they're $4 to $5 profit. And she would get like 20 of those done in an hour. So that's like 50 cents to $1. I had thought about like my mass quantity stuff I can buy that's like simple, no brainer. It's front back UPC code and it goes on eBay. And that was basically when I have people help me list, that's what they list. They're not listing my higher dollar or like my one-off that are hard to find. But again, like Tim said, like I want my listings how I want them. I had my mom helping me do it for a while, and her photos just weren't up to par for what I take. And so now my mom cross posts, which is something I don't want to spend time on. I was spending money paying a virtual assistant to do it, but I'd rather support my mom who needs a little extra income. So my mom comes and like all items are on all 4 platforms. I do need to teach her to take them down. That would be like an amazing help and cut that out of, stuff that I need to do. And my husband, who is not that into reselling, does help with the shipping. So when if I work Wednesday, Thursday, he does all of the shipping. And then on days I'm off, if I'm not doing a pull and pack video, which I'll do like one every other week, he helps me with the packing. So I already have shipping help, even though he gets mad because I tell him how to do it. And he's like, I've been doing it for 2 years and nothing's broke. But I still am like, you should put that in this box. It's hard to let go of control when you're like your only person running your reselling business, because people aren't going to do it exactly like you do it. And that can be frustrating.
Yeah. It's also easier.
And so for me, I listing, but I would only give them that easy stuff like a scarf. Like my scarves. Scarves are like so easy. I'd be like, find the brand, sell similar, take pictures, and then I would comp it out to price it. So nobody ever made their listings live. I always reviewed them for prices and just to check them out. So I would love to find somebody to do that again. But it's also, you have to figure, I have $100,000 in inventory sitting here. You have to trust that person to come in around all this expensive stuff, especially if they're listing while you're not there, unless you happen to know them through another way. And I know Jocelyn and Dagny have a good system that I would think, like they do boxes. So Dagny takes the stuff from Jocelyn, goes home, creates the drafts at her house, and then brings the stuff back, and Jocelyn makes the listings live. So it'd be like you'd bring somebody a tote of stuff and be like, here, they'd photograph it, get the drafts ready, and then they'd bring it back and you'd give them another box. And I've known a couple of clothes resellers that do that too.
When they're getting the drafts ready, is that on your eBay account?
Yeah, you can eBay has the function for guest sign in now. So they don't have access, and you can pick what they can see and what they have access to on your eBay account. I've not utilized that because for my mom and my niece, I just give them my login. I don't, because they're my family. But if I hired somebody outside of that, then I would need to do the guest login. Now let me get Tommy's super chat. He said, thanks for having my dude Mess Hall Digs on, aka Professor Mess Hall. Tommy, I am happy.
Defend the hustle.
To have him on for sure.
Super chat.
I got smart this time and looked at the time I was at so I can find exactly where I was at.
Well, the funny thing is, so when you go to register for one of my classes at the university, it actually says professor in front of my name, which is I get the biggest
Professor Mess Hall.
Just call me professor from now on. It's the professor.
It's professor.
It's just hilarious. It's hilarious.
Mixed trends. I have a Royal Albert 1944 Lady Carlisle set listed at $350. I have an active offer for $275, but the buyer has zero feedback. Member of 2021 from Canada. Would you take the risk?
Probably. If I wanted a $275 offer, I would, yeah.
I would, yeah.
Yeah. I took a huge risk on one the other day and it paid off. So
yeah. I don't know. I found that I've had just as many accounts with like high feedback bail on this thing, like in the hundreds. Right. Mm-hmm. And it's like I like zero feedback buyers that are either buying it now or sending me an offer are typically. I would personally only get worried if they were like auctions and stuff, because that's a little harder to monitor. But if they're going through the process of sending me an offer and like going through the like making a guest account or whatever they have to do, a lot of times they usually end up paying. Sometimes it takes them a day or two, but they usually, it just depends though. Are you willing to take a $275 offer on this? Because if you're not, like, then don't take that.
Then it doesn't matter. Right? Yeah,
then it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I would take it. Like, I personally would take it. And you have to remember, and a lot of people don't know this, so I'll say it again. Zero feedback could be a guest account. So like when I go buy birthday gifts or Christmas gifts, I check out as guest and I would have 0 feedback when in reality I have over 3,000. So that could be somebody that has an account, but they don't want a spouse or a child. You know, if they're buying a gift for their child and their child uses their eBay account, they don't want them to see it. So they're checking out as guests, because I utilize that, like I said, for birthday and Christmas gifts, that I don't want my husband, because he looks at the eBay, you know, he's gonna be like, oh, you got me this. So
that's a good
I do
point.
the same on Amazon too. Yeah, I do the same on Amazon because he looks at our Amazon account.
And also,
Okay.
like I said earlier, if you're looking for like what I have, a vintage 1980s 49ers jacket, if you put that in Google, like my listing's gonna show up in the results. You'll say, oh, here's one on eBay. So someone might say, oh, I want that one. Then they have to go create an account to try to get the one that I'm selling on eBay. And then they would have 0 feedback at that point. So
Right.
because I think eBay is putting out that feature. If you start promoting listings, that they'll start showing up more on Google results for people that search.
Yeah, they said they're starting to push them even more. And before, I heard it was like 5% or higher, they would push them out to Google.
Right.
For you two golf club bag sellers, I've not sold any bags yet, so I'm not going to answer this. Have you ever sold a golf bag that is a brand name but also has a name on the golf course it came from? Will it hurt the cost of the bag?
The only thing that matters is the name brand on the golf bag. That's it. If it's a Titleist golf bag, it doesn't matter what golf course is on it, or if it's a Peen golf bag, doesn't matter what golf course is on it. It's the Peen golf bag. It's the quality people are looking for. Julian.
I'll go with that. Now, he knows more about golf than I actually do. Now, can it be raised if it's a like certain golf course?
Well, yeah, if it's like a Torrey Pines logo golf bag, then it's one of the most iconic golf courses in the world. Then it probably could raise the price of it. But if it's like your local,
then it would raise it, not lower it.
It would raise it, yes. But if it's like your local golf course, like let's say they have a standard Peen golf bag, and they just embroidered their local golf course logo on it, like what they do with the golf shirts, then it's not going to hurt the value because it's still a nice Peen golf bag. So, but if it's one of the most iconic Masters golf courses in the country, then it probably raised the value of it.
Yeah, so when you're comping them out, just because to be honest with you, even when I see golf courses like on bags, I still comp that out in the store and type that in, because I might be like, hey, I know a couple of them, but I don't know all of them. So I'm always like, hey, this might raise it, and I haven't found one yet, but I might.
Yeah, but it's not going to hurt. It's not going to hurt the value ever.
Okay. But that's a nice thing. Pajama Mama May. Has anyone else had eBay request you send driver's license and bank statement to verify for managed payments?
Isn't that just the process managed payments requires?
Did you send
I
your
think
driver's
it is.
license?
I think that's
I don't think I
standard.
did I did my
I had
driver's
to
license.
send.
My driver's license.
My bank didn't link up because I have a credit union. I don't have like a big name. I want to say name brand bank, but I don't have like a nationwide bank. I have a little local credit union. So I did have to send a bank statement. I think you do have to send driver's license. Do you remember, Mess Hall, if you had to send driver's license?
I'm trying to remember because when it switched over, because I switched over to managed payments, I don't remember what was required of me. I'm trying to think about it.
Yeah, I wonder if it.
I'm almost 100% sure I did not send my driver's license. I know that I sent all my banking information and confirmed it through my bank digitally.
Yeah.
Maybe 5 years ago for PayPal I did or something, but I didn't do it.
I know
Amazon
Facebook also. Facebook requires. Yeah.
Amazon
Facebook requires a driver's license.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah.
I needed it.
Tiffany, thank you so much. Tiffany ordered bubble wrap from Bubble Boy today using my link. I know Richard has been dropping it. That's what's thrown all over my shed. Joel over at American Bubble Boy is amazing as far as supporting resellers. He's a great guy overall. So if you are not using someone else's link, I would appreciate if you use my link to get. Doesn't cost you any more, and I get a little bit of kickback from it.
Feel free to use my link.
Listen, Tim. We'll have like all the links, and you guys can like eeny, meeny, miny, mo, and decide who you're gonna I have to like alternate between me and like somebody else that they like a lot. Miss Betty, when do you use Priority Mail Express padded rate envelopes instead of the red print?
Depends on how you're shipping it. I would think Express would be faster.
Yeah,
So,
Express is
Yeah, and a lot more expensive.
Yeah,
Way-
more expensive for sure.
wait.
yeah, so if the buyer paid for Express, use Express. But
Mhm.
if not, you're probably going to want to pay that $7.74 for a padded envelope.
I
sent
have
something
never
like this.
used an Express envelope ever.
Nope.
I have not.
If
And
anything, I
they
feel like-
oh, go ahead. I was
Oh,
going
I
to say,
was-
I think they stopped guaranteeing overnight. They used to do overnight delivery and they canceled it. So you can't even get that anymore. So you might as well do priority.
Yeah. I was going to say I would almost feel more secure just using a box anyway. I don't think the price difference is too much, but if somebody needs something that quickly that's that small, you can't even guarantee it's going to get there in piece or like all together because you're going to be chucking that thing.
Right. Enough
It's gonna
advice
get
would
there
you give to
fast.
people starting out to get large amounts of sales?
Look stuff up on eBay. Make sure that you actually are buying things that are going to sell. Don't just buy things that you think are going to sell, because I feel like that's a big mistake a lot of people make. Like, oh, this is cool, but it's not cool to 7 billion other people, so they probably don't want it.
Just to you.
Yeah. That's why the eBay app is so nice. You can literally sort between what's listed and what it's actually selling for and what it's not selling for. So there's no mistake on what you can get for the item.
I think if your goal is to start getting large amounts of sales, then you're in for like a hard go of it, man. Because just getting started is the most important thing. Gaining experience, gaining thrift knowledge, knowledge of what sells, what doesn't. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to learn from your mistakes. You can't start anything just hoping to be, like Julian the first day you start. It's not going to be the way to go. Eventually you'll get there. I mean, I was selling three things a month. And then, after a while, it just starts growing. You get better at it. So that's the only advice I can really give. If you set out to just become a large seller immediately, it's going to be a tough road.
Yeah, I would say with both of them said combined, and then also you're going to need a lot of inventory. I mean, not everything sells right away. So, you're going to have to still have a bunch of inventory coming in just as much as going out. So you better have that ability to get all your inventory in, listed, and shipped out in a timely fashion to keep that replenished. Because you might have, you might get 20 good things in, you list it, but you don't have anything else coming in. So then your sales will dip down. So you need that incoming inventory, and that works when you have more inventory in, 1,000, whatever, 1,500. Some people do it really well with 200, but you need some sort of system to get that inventory in, out quickly, and then it'll just snowball.
Yeah. And if you want to grow your store, I think good advice that like I kind of took for myself too is like how many ever you sell that day, list like a certain number over. So even say it's 5, if you sell 3 items that day, you list 8, so you replenish the 3 plus you built it by 5 items. And my big thing into getting to where I got was I reinvested all of my money back into the business until I got it built up to where it wanted to. A lot of people might not have the, ability to do that, but I would reinvest as much as you can and just keep building. You have to keep building and building to get to it. Like we don't get to this overnight. It took me, 2.5 years this go round. I've sold on eBay many go rounds, but it took me 2.5 years this go round to get to where I am sitting. Susan Ward bought a 32-inch plush doll that sings and light up. How would you ship them? Does anybody else sell plush but me?
I got a huge lion up here. I picked up with Kevin.
Well, how would you ship him?
How would I ship him? He's got a hard head, like a hard foam head, like not Kevin the lion. And I want to ship him in I don't know. I think you can compress in a box. I would ship him just in a poly bag, but I'm afraid something's gonna fall on his head. But if he was super plush, like nothing that can get damaged, I'm putting that thing in a gigantic poly bag.
Just put a label on his head and send it.
But yeah, I mean it's
is.
I don't know. He's looking at me. He's got a big. I mean, his head's like this big, but it's completely hard foam. So
okay, Tim, how do you ship your big plush?
Oh yes, all the plush that I sell. I had a baby Yoda that I picked up like 2 weeks ago. I was just gonna.
That wasn't big. That was little.
No, that was like 20 inches. It was the extra large one. It was,
He really didn't look that big. I saw
it was like my whole chest. Like, it's huge.
Oh, okay. So how do you ship
I'm a tall person.
How'd you ship him?
My brother bought it, so I didn't have to.
With your brother.
But I was.
You sold it to your brother.
It was going to be able to cram into a 12 cube box.
With most of my big them in trash bags, I double and like commercial black trash bags, I double bag them, and I've sold quite a few, and then I slap a label on it. Now, the only exception to that is if it's going international, I'm not going to ship it in a trash bag, and I will find a box, but I am going to cram that thing in to the smallest box I possibly can, because your dimensions are going to come into play for your shipping cost. But 9 times out of 10, my big polys go double bagged in black commercial trash bags, and I haven't had any complaints, and they have all made it safely. CC Q4 is Christmas. It's holiday season. People are shopping more, and it starts in October. So it starts in about a month. But a lot of people see a lot more increase. How would you ship a chair? Does anybody but me sell chairs?
I've never shipped a chair.
I'd sell it to my brother. I'm not
So I have done this 2 ways. I've sold my Ethan Allen chairs. One way is U-ship. Most of my furniture goes freight via U-ship. They come, they pick it up, they blanket wrap it, or the auction company wants it back and comes loads it into a van. But I had another one. The guy used his FedEx account, and so I know that they'll do it, but the guy used his FedEx account to pay for it, and I just dropped the chairs off at FedEx, and he paid for them to be boxed and packed, and off they went. Especially most of my chairs are like $500 plus. I'm not gonna risk them in a box, but if they, like that guy wanted me to bring them to FedEx to be boxed, I did it. So I would, if it was a chair, I would do it via U-ship. You could probably put it in a box, but if you want to risk a $500 chair that's 100 years old in a box, then most people that are willing to pay thousands of dollars for a piece of furniture will pay the $300 for a freight company to hand deliver it. Anita's rule: do not list anything. Anita, I do not follow that rule. I'm not going to lie. Do not list anything until you have the supplies to ship it. Because some stuff I have big, and it doesn't. I don't have the stuff. I find it, or I build a box out of what I have. I have built many a box, but yeah. Kraus House Thrift I got it backwards, and I say her name all the time. Kraus House Sift and Thrift. What is the longest you had something in inventory before it sold?
Maybe like 2 years back before I was doing like purges and stuff.
Yeah, I think about a year. A year for me is the longest I've had something.
I just sold something I had. It was a set of Allen wrenches. I'm pretty sure I had it for 14 months. Long time.
Yeah.
I just sold like several items this week I had over 2 years. Well, the QVC palette, and my viewers have been helping a lot with that. Thank you to all of you who bought my $4.89 sweaters. I'm breaking even. I'm not making any money on them, but they're getting out. But jewelry, I have some jewelry that just sold that took 2 years to sell too. Melissa's Mercantile is an enormous box, the only way to ship hockey sticks. Taking 2 signed authenticated hockey sticks to auction. I can't figure out how to ship them. I would feel like hockey sticks are like.
Yeah, I would say watch Julian's video.
Golf clubs, right?
Yeah.
No, hockey stick's going to have that long, you know what I'm saying? So that box, I mean.
Could you just sandwich it in cardboard, though?
That's what I would do. I didn't make that thing about.
Once you get to that point where it curves up, you just put another like USPS shoebox on top of it.
Just cut it.
It's gonna look like a candy cane when you ship it, but I think that's
just ship it flat, sandwiched in cardboard. I think it would be way under $50 to do that.
Yeah.
That's not going to be oversized.
Yeah, you can do that too. Sandwiched.
Yeah. Melanie Sposio, what is your favorite holiday?
December. That's my favorite holiday.
Q4, yeah.
Yeah, because you got Christmas, and I was born the day after Christmas. My birthday's the day after Christmas,
Oh.
and then you got New Year's, and then it's usually a busy time for eBay and such. So it's fun. All those last minute shoppers like me,
Yeah, we've I mean, in terms of reselling, it's definitely Q4. But I've got a kid coming on December 18th, so I'll it can be Q4 too now still.
Yeah, December.
Q4, baby.
Yeah, I would say holiday would be Christmas holiday time.
Mine is Christmas too, and Dalton is 3 now. So this is probably going to be the first one where he's really super excited about Christmas. So it will be a fun one. Last year at 2, he kind of got into like ripping stuff, but he didn't really like realize. And at 1, it's just like, they're like, oh, paper. They don't even care what's in the paper.
They're just having fun ripping.
So this year probably will be with Dalton at Christmas time. Dave, my good friend Midwest Picker. I still own stuff from my childhood. Trapper Keepers, C64 computer, books, D&D stuff. Should I sell it or keep it longer before selling?
I would sell it. I don't like holding on to stuff. We ain't running a storage facility over here. We selling stuff.
Yeah, I personally don't really know what that stuff is. But you can always do a little bit of research and check to see if it's been steadily increasing or maybe right now, because I know that a lot of like older electronics and games and stuff have kind of boomed over the last year. So now might be the time to sell it. Or if they're brand new, you can get it graded. Apparently you can grade anything. But I would maybe do some research and check the market and how it's increased over the last little bit. If it's been steadily increasing and doesn't look like it's gonna like any bubbles about to burst, then maybe hold on to them. But I also agree with Messall. Like I don't really keep stuff. If I buy something, it's not long term.
I don't know what a C64 computer is, but a Trapper Keeper, those things are cool. If you had a cool Trapper Keeper, I'd be putting that up on eBay in a heartbeat.
Definitely.
I would sell it all too, Dave. That
Yeah,
I have
sell
none
it
of
all.
that stuff because
Look
it
interesting.
would all be sold. I don't hold on to stuff.
Hey, look
Very,
at the
very
chat.
long.
Someone's offering to buy the computer already.
Oh yeah,
There you go, Dave. Dave,
That's a
I
good-
take a
good amount of
5% commission for live sales. Jane, scheduled listings are 10 cents per listing, and I would assume they would charge that to you at the time that you make the list. Spirit of Manu wants to know, are we full-timers?
I am not. I'm part-time.
Full-time 5.5 years now.
I'm full-time a year and 7 months. 6 months.
I just went part-time nursing and full-time reselling about a month and a half ago, I think. Probably about 6 weeks ago, I feel like. So I have to work 2 days a week to keep my benefits, which I need, and I'm working the least amount I can to keep my benefits and putting more time into reselling. Thrift Queen, how do you balance all your other responsibilities while trying to succeed at eBay?
Figure out a routine, schedule, and everything. For myself, because this is full time for me, I just treat it like it's a 9 to 5, and I'll work 40-hour weeks, and then people are living their lives on 40-hour weeks, so they're able to spend time and do the responsibilities and everything. So that's what I do. But for someone who's trying to get into eBay that might also be working a 40-hour week, I have never had to do that, so I don't really have any advice for it.
I think prioritizing is the most important. Just where your priorities lie. Like for me, I would love to put out a new YouTube video, but my daughter has a volleyball game that night. So instead of doing the YouTube video, I'm going to the volleyball game to support my child, Or
Right.
if there's an important meeting I have to be at, that's priority. If I have to cook dinner, that's priority. If I have to cut my grass, that's priority. So I have a list of priorities that have to get done, and then whatever's left over, then I try to succeed at eBay and YouTube and all that afterward.
I do this full time, so like this is the priority to pay the bills. So that like Tim said, I do this just as a regular job, and I work probably 40 hours on eBay, then I'm probably 30 hours on YouTube, to be honest with you. I mean, it's definitely a lot going on there. I prioritize eBay over YouTube though. Like if I need to make sales and stuff, and because I'm making more money obviously on eBay than I do YouTube, so that's my priority goes to that. But like the house needs to get fixed, like that's a priority because the house is gonna fall down if I don't go fix it. So it is what it is. I mean, if you wanted to take off work, you would do the same thing. I made some money today on eBay, so it's one of those things you just have to. But this is like if you're full time, this is your job, so you have to you wake up, go do it, go to work, and then kind of go from there. And Trapper Keepers, by the way, that one sold for like best offer $225.
I don't know if Dave had Lisa Frank, but I mean I don't know Dave that well.
But he might have. Trapper Keepers he's got.
What is a Trapper Keeper?
Look,
he said they were his from his.
It's like
I still don't know if Dave would have had the dog. Dave can let us know.
Kind of like what you had instead of a backpack when you went to school back in the day. It had all the
I totally had Trapper.
It had the Velcro closure on it. It had all your folders, all your subjects. It was like your backpack. It was a Trapper Keeper.
I can understand what that is when you explain it, but I don't think I've ever called it that. That's weird.
Some of them can sell for $100, $150.
Oh yeah.
So I would look at them, Tim. I would look at them just so you know. As far as me balancing, I make a checklist, and I make sure I'm taking pictures. I talked about in my video yesterday. I have to make myself do listings sometimes because I just don't want to. And yeah, family is going to come first before anything. So as far as that, I would make sure we went to the beach last Saturday. I made sure I already had my video primed, ready to go. I didn't have to worry about it. So I kind of plan ahead for that. And then as far as I do no cooking, no cleaning. Not none. I do the laundry. Brad refuses to do laundry. He'll do it, but he won't fold it. He does all of the shopping, he does all of the cooking, and he does not work outside of the home, just FYI, but he helps me with the packing. So for me, I just it's hard. I don't know that there's any formula with the 3-year-old, because he will, and lately he's wanted to water the flowers, and that whatever we're doing, that's what we're going to go do. We're going to go paint and we're going to go water the flowers, and I'll have to work a little bit later. That's a nice thing about reselling. You can do it whenever you want. Like I was talking about before the show, I was listing at 1 a.m. last night because we're late night people. I'm up to 1:30 or 2. And that was, I took the photos in the afternoon and they were just on my phone, but I'm on the couch chilling, watching TV, listing at 1 a.m. because I can, and I, let him paint and do all that stuff. So yeah. Restyle secrets. Question for me. If you only source 1 to 2 times a week, you must find a lot in one trip. There is 2 answers to that. Yes, I do. And I actually am thrifting more to show content and to help people at the thrift store. I do my thrift with me is a little different than most people. I do them a little more educational. So I'm thrifting specifically for that because my inventory comes from auctions. I have never hit that auction buyer, and I drive typically 2 to 3 hours each way, but I will get over $3,000 to $5,000 in inventory. My last big haul was $3,600 haul. I drove to Clearwater, Florida, but it was valued at probably about $20,000 in inventory. So that's why I have a death pile. When I buy from these auctions, I buy big. We're talking hundreds and hundreds of items, and I have to sort through. When I moved in the shed, I sorted through the stuff that wasn't. Julian's good about getting rid of stuff really fast when he does auctions. I am not as good at that. And I tend to if it's $10, I'm probably going to list it. And I probably shouldn't, honestly. I probably should just let it go. I have people that'll come pick stuff up from me. I just give it to them. They bring it to the church and they send it to other countries that need stuff. I donated 1,000 shirts to them because I in a year and said, here, have 1,000 new Gildan t-shirts, take them. And they shipped them overseas to children who needed clothes. So I I went way further than I should. But basically, I could probably find enough thrifting if I needed to, but I find more money in auctions and I buy more in auctions. Thrift Queen wants to know if you log every item you buy and sell on a tracking spreadsheet.
I don't use any spreadsheets at all.
I have a Google Docs that I use. I used to track each individual item, and now I just track total purchases. And then, but I do track sales and like how much I'm making that way. But then I don't track individual cost of goods anymore.
Yeah, I don't either. I use I forget what I use. Quicken Books, and I use basically the same thing. Just what I buy, not every individual product.
Yeah, I don't at all. I use money in, money out. Here's what I spent this week. Here's what I made this week. Here's the difference.
Yeah, it can be like a fun addition. Be like, oh, I only paid $1 for this, but when you get in, I mean, like I just picked up way too many VHSs, and if I was like, if I just said, oh yeah, I paid 10 cents for this and it sold for this, like that's just it's kind of pointless at a certain point.
Yeah, I will remember like if it's an auction haul, I know my price point and I know which items came from that. So I do not do this on paper. I know in my head, hey, $100 at that auction, I just sold $500 items. I'm in the profit now. So I know like that buy is in the profit, but none of that is on paper. That's all in my head.
I use the 50-50 philosophy. It sells or it don't. That's it. 50-50.
Do you print labels the night before you ship?
No, I ship.
No, I don't.
The morning.
Yeah, I print the labels as I'm ready to slap it on, and either have the post office pick them up or I drive to the post office.
Yeah, I don't even print the like bulk out, and I have like 20. I'll pack something, print the label, slap it on, and then throw it somewhere.
Yeah.
Yep, I do the same thing, and I take mine all to the post office.
Same. Too lazy.
Yeah, I print the day of. The only time night before is if I have like Facebook or Mercari sales, then I'll print the night before, but not eBay because I do a bulk printing and print a scan form for my post office. Leroy is mad at you, Julian. You left a lot of stuff, he said.
I did. Well, I mean, I could have taken off for pretty cheap, but it seemed like a lot. Like, a lot wasn't that good. It would have been good. I would have made money, but I bought a lot, so.
Loca Family Flippers. Filming in thrift stores, do you ask for permission first?
I just kind of started wearing my GoPro strap, and at any of the big ones like Goodwills and DIs. At the smaller stores, I prefer not to wear it just because it's a little more of a personal experience, and compared to like the mass employees everywhere at the Goodwills and the DIs around here. But so I'll bring it in, but I don't typically just like set it on record and walk around in some of the smaller stores, just because there's usually only like one or two other people in there, and it's like feels weird, and I don't want to talk to people about why I'm recording. But at like DI and stuff, I mean, I never technically asked permission, but so far they haven't told me I can't. So,
dude, what strap do you use? Do you use the chest one?
I have. Yeah, it's just the GoPro.
The chest strap.
Yeah. I also have a backpack like one, but I use that only when Jasmine and I go yard sailing. It's just easier than walking up to a yard sale with a GoPro strap on. Little right. More.
And I've seen people like hide them like in a fanny pack. They'll cut like a hole in their fanny pack, and like there'll be a little lens sticking out of it or whatever. But
yeah, some people will have the purse and they'll clip the purse on.
I'm all about just doing things until I get in trouble for it.
Yeah.
Once someone stops me and says, "Hey, you can't do that," then I'll know I can't do that. So yeah. That's me though.
Yeah, I've never asked permission, and I don't wear that little chest thing. It's confusing. It's a lot of like straps and stuff. I would be weird.
Straps.
I just
it's like
some suspenders, like
just slide it on like a backpack.
Yeah,
and then you're all constricted. You're walking around.
Yeah, I'm walking around. I've got the camera on. I don't know about that, but I wear like a. I mean, what I wear is kind of weird. It's like a sash thing. It's a bag in the back. Mm-hmm. It's like I don't know what it is.
It's a merce. It's a merce.
I wish I could show you. It's more. No, I call it a little tactical bag. That's what I call it.
No, it's a Merce.
But I
Okay.
strapped it right there.
I am the opposite of Tim, and I am way more comfortable in the small thrift stores with my GoPro. And I do ask permission. Mine are mostly like small, like family owned, and they like, I love it because like Tim said, there's one or two people. I go around talking to myself. I got the inspiration from Kevin, Commonwealth Picker, who like talks to himself more than anybody I know.
Yeah.
So I've gotten more comfortable. I like walk through the thrift store. I'm like, oh, I'm talking to you guys, you that are watching my video. And I just have gotten where like, I don't care. I prefer if nobody's in the thrift store but me and like the owner. And then I can just go and be loud. Like if there's other people, I'll kind of whisper and then I have to adjust my volume when I edit the video. And I haven't went to that many Goodwills. Mine are mostly smaller ones where I can ask like either the manager, like this one knows, or the owner of the couple of other ones. And I have the owners of quite a few of the places I go actually watch my videos and will comment and ask me to come back. And like the vendors at the antique malls that I go to, they watch my videos as well and are like, oh, sorry, I missed you. So I'm pretty open about it and I ask, but I'm in a tiny little town and like the owner's mom lives like a mile from me. I found out last time I was in there. So, it's pretty small knit. Stacia, I'm going to take this down. These dudes, there are their names. Julian is my co-host, Bearded Thrift, right next to me. Mess Hall Diggs is below me. Osborn to Thrift Tim is Caddy Corner. And Jennifer Hayes, I have seen dropping links to everybody's channels all night. And their links are also down in the description of the video. Studio Row 8. Does eBay have a listing of specific brands that are restricted? Received a cease and desist letter for a pair of mechanics gloves I had listed.
Yeah, you
The
can
only
just type
thing
in.
I can think of is you use the word Velcro when you put your mechanics gloves on there. If they were like Velcro mechanics gloves and you use the word Velcro, that might have been it. There's a few words in there that you can't use.
Yeah, you can. I would assume that it's like a Vero that you got hit with. You can type in eBay Vero list and it'll give you all the brands and names that you can.
And it will scare you and you will never resell ever again.
Yeah.
I do not recommend looking at that list. It is extensive. There are like each company will say like you can't sell it as new, or you have to like type that the warranty is no longer valid. And I'm telling, it's scary. Like Velcro obviously is a big one not to use. Onesie is another one if you're selling kids clothes. You kind of learn. Also, do not sell any prescription stuff. Ooh. Can you guys? What can you guys say that's like a big? Don't sell lawn darts. What are other like really big ones?
Yeah, I got hit with the Beachbody company. They put out a lot of those.
That's another big one. Yeah,
like hip hop abs and all those kind of like QVC order this online type dance videos, getting shape videos. Like Beachbody puts out a lot of those. And if you're not careful,
Microsoft Student Edition something that had Student Edition on, they immediately hit me with that.
Yeah.
Oh, and the word bunt.
Cameron.
Bunt in I used the Pampered Chef bunt cake thing.
Like a bunt pan?
Yeah, but you can't use that unless you're using it for, I think now don't quote me, but it was like for Nordic wear, baby. They have that word. So if you use it any other way and it's not that brand, I don't know if that's the brand, but that they took down my Pampered Chef stuff.
So BUNT, bunt cake.
Bunt.
Yeah.
Not like a bunt.
Just misspelled it. BUNT, bunt cake.
Bunt.
Cameron
wants to know what Tim auctioned off. Tim, what did you auction off?
Oh, it was it's a game. It's called Flames of War. It's, if you ever heard of like Warhammer or something, it's kind of like a fantasy. Or so Warhammer, you like paint the figures and you play on this like large landscape. This is that, except it's with like World War II figures. So like soldiers and everything. I think I listed it like $400 because I didn't know how to auction it or anything. And it actually sold during the live for $460. which is a little bit of a bummer because it had like 38 watchers, but I think a lot of that was just like followers.
Yeah, I'm wanting to see.
See how
Doreen says she's going to buy a calendar if we put one out, Julian. That might be amusing.
there you
Maybe
go.
we could do it. The Driftless Thrifter, Laura, what are all of our thoughts on international shipping? She thinks she knows where I stand, but she'd like to hear everybody else's and if I've ever had any trouble with it.
I love it. I love it. I just sold a putter for over $300 internationally. It's going to the UK. Because golf is huge worldwide, and there's certain things that I think that I can get my hands on that maybe they can't overseas. And so I have a lot of international buyers for my golf club stuff. So I love that option personally.
Yeah. I use a global shipping program for pretty much everything. There's just one item the buyer was having trouble actually paying through that, so I canceled it and relisted it with the option to just pay internationally, and that was like a car radio for like $285. So that's the only one that's the first international shipment I'm going to have to send out in the last like 3 or 4 years that's not going to Kentucky for the global shipping program.
I use the global shipping program, and I just made my biggest sale ever, and it was a set of golf clubs. I'm not gonna tell you how much because my video comes out Thursday.
Teaser.
You have to wait.
Teaser.
Yeah, you gotta wait. It's my biggest flip ever, and it did go international.
There you go.
So you're right. Golf clubs sell like hotcakes.
And I have only was like a dog collar. Like, yeah. And I send out like 1 to 2 international a day. The only issue I had, like when it was global shipping, eBay covers it. And the other one, standard international, I sent a dog training collar. That was like $160 order. And I told them if it wasn't new in the box, just like I sent it, because I think they were trying to like switcheroo me, which is crazy for international. They never sent it back and the case got canceled out. So that's the only issue I've had with it. I am going to answer this really quick, and then we're going to start our quick fire round because we have 10 minutes left. We have 406 people in the chat. Thank you all for hanging out with us. I have 40 minutes of questions we are going to try and cover in 10 minutes. Let's see how good we are. Southern Chick finds the Squishmallows a black trash bag. Squish it as much as you can, twist the top, flip it over it again. It's double polyed and send it out. It is super easy to ship those out. I've shipped those out. Okay, are you ready? Mess Hall, you're first.
I'm ready. Let's get it.
Todd Hutchinson says, bubbles in or bubbles out when wrapping, which gives more protection?
Bubbles in.
I think it's technically bubbles out.
I have no idea. I think I do both.
I don't do it a specific thing. I think technically it's bubbles out.
I think it is bubbles out and I pack bubbles in. Dom wants to know, Tim, are you glad you started a YouTube channel?
Yeah.
I see a half of a question. If you list on multiple platforms, how do you decide to list where? I think I am the only one that cross-posts, and I cross-post everything to all 4 platforms, eBay, Mercari, Facebook, and Poshmark. So, but that's because my mom cross-posts, and I cannot tell her what to put where. So I just tell her to do everything. How much time do you estimate to cross-post 38? Okay, I'm going to answer this one as well. So it took my mom about 6 months coming 3 times a week for 4 hours to get my 3,200 items. So I would say, what is that? Like a couple of months of steady cross-posting. Angel Manella, I'm new to eBay. I use the iPhone app. Is there an easy way to find a specific listing besides scrolling to find the order you want? And on marketplace, is there an option to search your store? Sorry.
I think if you click on your active listings on your phone, it'll pull up all your active listings. There should be a little magnifying glass right underneath. You can type the item in there and it'll pull it up.
Yes.
Yeah, what he said.
Yep.
Yeah. Yes, I agree. I just want to say, Punk Lockets, hello from Scotland. I found out I have a few Scotland viewers, so I think that's super cool. So
awesome.
I'm highlighting that because I can. I'm still scrolling looking for another question. Artin Roof, where do you get the majority of your inventory? Yard sales, thrift stores, Goodwill, or somewhere else?
Thrift stores and antique malls. Antique malls, very underrated.
Thrift stores, and recently I've been doing more yard sales, but 95% are thrift stores.
Right now, definitely yard sales and auctions.
Auctions. Aunt B. Kat, what sells best on Marketplace? Lately, for me, it has been glass and collectibles, and my clothes on there as well, if they're popular brands. 1977 Star Wars movie poster. Sell it now or wait. That's up to you. I sell everything now. I don't hold anything. What do you guys do?
I don't hold anything. I sell it.
I don't hold anything, but for that, I would almost say if you need the $600 now, sell it now. But if you can just stick it in an attic and leave it there for a while, I mean, that's not going to go down in price. That's already 40 years old.
Yeah, I sell everything.
We just listed on now. Linda Pruitt, and I think this is going to be individualized, and this is going to depend on what item. What's the average turnaround time between buying inventory, listing it, and actually selling it?
So my world record for me is 12 minutes. 12 minutes. I bought something, listed it. 12 minutes later, it sold. And then, like we said earlier, it took a year for one thing to sell. So it depends.
Yeah. For me, I usually have fresh inventory every 6 months with how much I'm selling. So turnarounds can be anywhere from like 1 week to like 2 months. It depends on the item.
All right. My world record is I bought it at a thrift store 10 minutes away. I actually listed it in my car and it sold before I got home, and I drove straight home. But it's usually actually mine is a little bit longer than Tim's. Mine's like 6 to 9 months to like an actual, like some sell fast, some sell slow. So
right, it really depends on the item. I have some stuff that's been here a year, and some stuff sells the next day. Yvette Anderson, what is one thing you feel needs the most improvement in your business?
My inventory system for me. I got stuff everywhere. I think I need to develop a better inventory system. That's mine.
Yeah, that's actually organization is mine. Just my YouTube viewers are yelling at me to get more organized, so it's finally motivating me to, because they see me pull stuff and they're like, "You need a tote system or something." And so I've been dabbling with that a little more. But yeah, definitely inventory system.
I'm going to say the same thing. 100% inventory system. Mine's all over the place.
Mine's okay. I think more like organization overall, and like I need to figure out a better like overall system of like when I'm listing, when I'm, like I would like to ship earlier. That's probably like my biggest thing. I am rushing to the post office at 4:45 I am not. Okay, I lied. I'm sending my husband to the post office at 4:45 every day. And the people probably hate him when he comes in at 4:55 with 40 packages. So that I need to do that better. I cannot answer this. I don't know if anybody else can. The best app grading for baseball cards.
I don't think there's a free app. Most grading companies charge a fee. The lowest I've seen is probably around $20. So if you have a very valuable baseball card, obviously it's worth $20 to have it graded. But I don't know if there's a free grading app.
I don't think. Do you use a printer? I'm assuming she means like a regular printer or a standalone label printer like a thermal. What do you use and why?
I use a Rollo thermal label printer. Best investment of my life.
Yep, Rollo printer, better than the Dymo and the Zebra that I have. So
here we go again.
I use a Dymo, and Kat gave it to me, and I love it to death, and I use it every day.
And I use a Dymo because that's what I found cheap on Facebook Marketplace, and I haven't had any issues with it. And Facebook Marketplace, where I found Julian's for cheap too, that I got him because I got tired of seeing him tape on the labels. This kind of goes into Jane's question. Are you able to print labels from your phone?
Absolutely.
So I don't know if these guys can answer for them or you could not. I think there's a new Dymo that has Wi-Fi capability, or there's some kind of plug. But if you had a Wi-Fi laser printer, you could print from your phone. Do you guys know if you can print from your phone on a Rollo?
Not from my Rollo, but I do have a Wi-Fi printer that I can print. Like if I do a pirate ship label or a Macari label, and I'm in my garage, I can print it from my Wi-Fi printer from my phone.
Yeah, the Rollo doesn't have that. I think they're coming out with a Bluetooth one soon, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I make money fast? Can I make money fast on eBay?
No.
Oh, just
It depends. If you come across a crate full of 1980 starter jackets, yes.
Or trapper keepers.
Or trapper keepers.
yeah. He
Or
can.
dice
I know.
rolls.
I know what he buys. He can do well.
There you go. There's your answer.
Okay. I would say I will tell you my first co-host, one of my first two co-hosts, Chris, has like 100 or 200 listings. I don't know anymore. We haven't talked in a while. And he had an amazing 90-day total. He only was buying stuff with like double or triple the amount sold than listed. If you buy stuff that is only popular and you can find it, more power to you. And yes, you could make money fast that way. If you're not restricted on how much you can list, if you're brand new, then you definitely are going to be restricted until you build it up. I think Cameron has a little crush going on here. I'm not sure what's going on with Cameron and Tim, but you know.
Shout out.
I will tell you, Bren, a lot of Corel percolators were recalled. You cannot sell the electronic part of that because they were recalled. Julian, I know you told us before they want to know the top brands again.
That's all. Give us 2 top brands.
Tailor-made Ping for sure. Ping putters are always going to sell good.
I like Callaway.
And Callaway, yeah. Callaway, Ping, TaylorMade, Titleist if you can find it. But even like we said, the lower level golf clubs, they do make higher end golf clubs. Just look it up, man. Look it up.
Ping is one of my favorites, though. It's easy to remember. Ping.
Ping is the best, man. I love Ping.
I like Ping.
Any countries you won't ship to?
I know for me, just when I sell, like I find a lot of military stuff where I'm at, old uniforms and things. I will not ship those internationally at all, just for personal preference. But other than that, man, if you're willing to spend the money, I'll ship it to you, baby.
Yeah, just whatever the global shipping program restricts. I'll ship to whatever they let me ship to.
That's funny. I'm actually just like Mess Hall. I won't ship any type of uniform overseas.
Yep.
I don't
uniforms.
get any uniforms.
Yeah.
I don't get any uniforms.
Scotty
I'm
Cameron's
not mine to
impossible
any.
to
Look
find
at Kevin. I wonder if Kevin has been in here hearing me talk about him since I've mentioned a few things over the show. Kevin Commonwealth Picker wants to know, Mess Hall, where did you get that sweet Cali hat?
So yeah, I'm originally from California. I grew up in the Bay Area. Shout out Hayward, Oakland, Berkeley, California. I can't remember the name of the brand off top, but if you go to my Instagram, I did shout them out. They make custom made hats with the license plate format. They put anything you want on it.
Kevin needs lots of license plates, hats.
Yeah, Commonwealth. Yeah, he's the man.
Kevin needs lots of them.
And Scotty Cameron's hard to find, bro. If you can find one, more power to you.
I found one in a year and a half.
What else do I have here? I think we're almost through. I think I'm almost caught up. Let's see if we have one more. Andrea Edwards, does eBay determine which is a better option, dimensional weight versus actual weight, or is it up to the seller to find out?
Oh, I can answer that.
Oh yeah, go ahead, Tim. Go ahead.
Oh, so if we're talking the post office. The post office calculates dimensional weight by taking the total dimensions. So if it's a 12 by 12 by 12 cubed box, anything higher than that in cubic inches, which I believe that's 1,768 inches, anything higher than that, you have to divide it by 166, and then that is your new dimensional weight. That's the weight that they're going to charge you. So anything over, it is. Anything over 12 cubed inches, though, will be charged dimensional weight, and eBay will choose the highest number. So if your item weighs 25 pounds, but the dimensional weight is only 20 pounds, technically, they're going to charge you 25 pounds. So it does automatically decide, but you need to put in the correct dimensions for it to decide for the buyer to purchase. It's very annoying, but anything over 12 cubed, you're going to want to measure the box is going to go in. Otherwise, there's a chance you're going to get screwed. Now, FedEx usually is different, though. So anything over 12 cubed, typically anything bigger than in dimensional weight is going to be cheaper at FedEx.
Yes, and eBay doesn't decide. So eBay, I think on under 12 by 12 by 12 is going to use the actual weight. They're not going to do cubic. So pirate ship might be cheaper if you've got a 3-pound weight in a 6 by 6 by 6 box than if you bought it on eBay, but nobody's going to determine that. If I see something little that looks really high on eBay, but honestly, I stick to eBay 9 times out of 10 just because. Nicholas, for a golf club, I'm going to tell you the biggest secret ever. Get the free USPS mailing tubes and put 2 of them together. It is completely free. Don't buy boxes. Order them free from USPS.
Or use the shoe box, the USPS shoe boxes, and cut them in half.
I think that is it. So I'm going to let these... Tripler, you show up 5 minutes after the end of the show.
Hey, he showed up. He showed up.
Thank you for showing up. We appreciate it. I had to give you crap. All right. All right, guys. I am going to go ahead and give Mess Hall this, and then I'll give Tim, and then we'll say bye to everybody. We still have 400 in chat, so thank you all for hanging out with us these 2 hours. Next Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Julian and my good friend Casey, Carolina Thrifter. And we will also have Margaret from Texas Gal Treasures, which should be fun over here. So we will have I'll get to have another female with me but Julian gets surrounded by women frequently on the show. So it evens out. So let Mess Hall Diggs say bye. Definitely appreciate these 2 guys coming out. Thank you guys for coming on. And again, their links were dropped throughout the chat, and they are also in the description. So I will let them give a little blurb and say goodbye. Whoa.
Oh, I would like to say thank you for the chat. There's a lot of knowledgeable resellers in the chat. So anyone that has to do a replay of this episode, a lot of great information in the chat. Thank you guys for all the great info. The best thing about this business, we all learn from each other. Mess Hall Diggs on YouTube and Instagram. Come holla at me.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Thanks for all the questions from people. It's fun to be able to talk reselling, and go subscribe to me as well. I'm just Osborn2Thrift on YouTube and Instagram. I post different content on both, so make sure you follow me on both of them. And thanks for the good time.
Yeah. Again, thank you guys. Julian, thank you for co-hosting. We appreciate it. And we are here every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So unless Julian's fishing and then I have to find a replacement, but it's okay. It does happen. I can't do it, but it happens. All right. Have a good night.